Greetings, and welcome to my workshop. I'm here today to tell you a story. Would you like to hear a story? Sure you do. Let's see. Who do we have here today? Let's see. Let us see, huh? Look like it's just myself and the cat. Okay. Very good to know. Very good. Well, the cat and I will sit here and talk to each other, as we often do. We spend a lot of time together, you see. I'm gonna go ahead and... What's that say? Okay, so, welcome to my workshop. I'm still brewing this potion for Agatha. Hopefully it helps with the problems she's been having lately. Uh-oh. See, look at all these people that just went live that normally would be here. Hello, Starbright Knight. How has the marble rolling been going? I have not been rolling marbles lately. I've been finding lots of time for other things. It's interesting. Hello there. Yes, indeed. It's been a while since I've seen you, actually. Thought about taking the cat to roll marbles, but no real point in that. The potions are good. Agatha's potion is brewing back there. She is, of course, down there at the Dawnwood Brothel. Agatha has a hump that hopefully that can help with. She likes humping, but doesn't like the hump on her back. Yes. So today I was going to be telling a story. See, I'm celebrating my 45,000th birthday. Yes, 45,000 years old. And, you see the orb here. It really is an interesting thing, this orb. It allows me to see into other dimensions. And I am originally from the Earth. Oh, don't walks, runs a lot. Got to go forest scavenging today. Yes, I was noticing there's some gray in my beard, and so that's a sure sign that one is turning 45,000. But let's check out my forest scavenge today. Let's head that way real quick. Now see, here we are in the forest. Oh, look, this little vial thingy. I forgot about this. Where is it? There it is. That's a bit collector. I forgot all about that. Let's take a walk. There's some mushrooms. Where's Robot? See there. You must see these mushrooms that are magical. They allow us to gaze into the orb and see into the other dimensions. Oh, my orb is dusty. It's quite dusty, this orb. I should get someone to polish my balls. Yes. Well, today I was remembering some stories from the Earth. You see, I have seen a lot in my many, many years. Yes. And, I was reminded of ancient Greece. You know what they have at McDonald's and they cook the fries in. No. Let's head back into the workshop. It's kind of breezy out here into the woodlands. So here we are in the workshop. Yes. Why are there no bits? Oh shit, I see. I turned it all off because I was busy with the king recently, you see. On Sunday, I was in the kingdom of Norcalia. Actually, I'm in the kingdom of Norcalia right now, in the castle. But I visited with the king of Norcalia, King Norcalian, and I had an audience with him and with Sinjin. Oh, the witch's hat. Where is the witch's hat? You know, it's funny. I was visiting Hogwarts, and they were doing this thing. They were role-playing, these characters were, and the headmaster there, he had the same outfit, just like this. It was just like this. He had the hat and the robe, and of course he was scooted back further, I suppose, like this. Yes, that's how he was. And he was the headmaster. I thought the headmaster worked at the brothel. I thought it was Agatha. She is a headmaster. Hmm. Believe me, I do get 5% of her profits if you mention my name. Hmm. So please, if you're heading down there to the Dawnwood brothel, be sure to mention my name. Now, don't be shocked by Agatha's hump. Hopefully, that brew will help. I've been working very hard on it. It does take a good full moon to brew. Hmm? It does. And then today we might be graced. Oh, yes, there's a cat in here. I think I've told the story of the cat, the young maiden that I came across. You must come across a maiden, because if you come in them, they're no longer maidens. Hmm? Yes, that's how that works. But I was thinking back to the days of when I was on the Earth, long before I went to wizarding school, you see. Magic was just rife in the world in the old days. There used to be gods, many of them, and they were petty, to believe it or not. They were involved in the daily lives and everything. Just if you sneezed wrong, it could have been an offense to the gods. It was such a time to be alive. But there was a story I was thinking of. That's just me. Oh, look at the hat. Let's get the whole hat in there. Look at that. Look at that hat. Oh, it's a beauty. It is a beauty. I did get it from a witch, though, you know. It's a witch's hat, because witches be tripping. We're going to switch that back out to the more comfortable hood. Oh, it's good to be in the hood. You don't say that very often, okay? Yes. Back in the days of early, before electricity and things that allow you to see me now, this portal that we have, it runs on electricity. Well, you see, there back in the days, there used to be, what the heck? There was a king of a petty kingdom. I don't mean that he was petty, I mean that it was a minor kingdom. See, the gods, they were petty and they would be involved in the day-to-day lives and, a lot of things that happen. Dark Mango, welcome. Look, she's got a wand. And a little wizard that's going to get changed soon. Because the marble people decided that I should not be a marbler. So anyway, there I was, telling you the story of long ago. See, it's my 45,000th birthday. That's right. Been around a long time. And a long time ago, there was a king. And he was a petty king. Not that he was petty, but his lands were petty. It was very minor kingdom. And he had wanted to consolidate his power, as kings are wont to do. And you see, the king conquered his neighbors. There was 3 neighbors, one to the north, one to the west, and one to the south. And to the east was a swamp. Nobody wanted the swamp. So he conquered those lands. Yes, I do remember the Dark Ages, see, before there was electricity. Before I even went to Pig Blister's School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, I was already learned in the magical arts. But Kid Shark, Card Shark, oh, I did that wrong. Gotta get these glasses fixed. See, getting a good optician here in Norcalia is difficult. They're not a very good lens maker to be found. I might have to open a portal and head back to the Earth and get some new glasses. But I digress on my story, you see. The king had conquered the lands and consolidated the kingdoms into a much larger kingdom than prior to when he started, when he inherited from his father. Now, speaking of fathers, he desired greatly to have an heir. And he married a nobleman's daughter to one of the most wealthy in his land. and she was beautiful, and he did kind of care for her. And so they spent some time, very nights. You know how babies are made, right? I don't have to explain this. Does anybody need that? Anybody? Anybody? I can explain, but I don't want to. Okay. If you don't know how babies are made, hit me up later. We'll talk about that in private. Okay? Okay. So, honest fan, welcome on in. I'm explaining how babies are made. No, I'm explaining about how a king needed an heir. That's right. Not how babies are made. That's another story. Whew. I can explain it though if you really need. So, the king, he married this woman and they had made a baby, and she was, after that time, it takes several months to make a baby. It's really something magical and mysterious in a way. But babies come out. They don't come from storks. I don't know where that story got started, but I kind of think I do, and we'll talk about that one another time. I keep digressing. Sorry about that. I like digressing on my salad, but no, it's dressing. Words are hard. So, the king was very excited, for his queen was about to have a baby. But unfortunately, in these ancient times, not everyone survived childbirth. And the queen and the child did not survive. The king was very sad. You see, he really needed an heir for his kingdom to carry on, and he knew that he was aging. Oh, it's Kraken. Welcome, Kraken. Been cracking those balls. But let's carry on. The king knew he needed an heir, or his kingdom would fall into chaos when he passed from the earth, as he was bound to do, as he was mortal, unlike myself. That's another story, by the way, about immortality, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. The king, though, his wife, passed away, the child with her. He was distraught for a short period of time, but he knew he needed another heir, or needed an heir, period. And so he went out and sought not the richest, but the strongest in his land. And he found the strongest noble, very stout and firm, and figured, the daughter of such a man surely would bear a child, an heir worthy of the kingdom. And so it was that he married his second wife. The king did. And it came to pass within a time, as things happen, they made another child. This time the child was born and lived. But a pox came upon the land shortly thereafter. And again, the child died. Now, distraught with grief at the loss of his heir and his second child, he cast away his second wife and decided she was cursed, and it was her fault that the child had died. Kind of a jerk, this king, really. But he had fallen in love during his travels, because he had closed his heart to the world. He decided he was just going to inherit an heir and adopt someone. But while he was traveling, he saw a farmer girl, and he was besmitten. Yes, he, not smitten, smitten. Yes, he was smitten. That's right. And he was totally enraptured with her. Her beauty was beyond words. He did see no maiden like her in the land. And as it came to pass, they did have a child. But before that child was born, the king, fearing for the worse of his past, deemed that he would not have anything to do with this woman and leave. He was not going to marry her. He did not need a wife. He only needed an heir. So he gave to her some raiment. That means garb. Very fine. and some sandals, because back in the day, there was no Nike. Though there was Nike, but she was a goddess. Didn't make footwear yet. See, small children and all that. But he gave to this woman who bared his child the slippers. They're sandals, I mean to say. Sandals. No slippers. There were sandals and some golden robes. That's the best way to explain it. Yeah, robes. And what he did was told her to hide these things until the child was of an age. Yes, that he was strong enough to lift off the rock. You see, so he placed it under a boulder, a small boulder. You know, it was feasible for a human without any god interventions to lift. So, there the raiments stayed, and the child was raised by the grandfather and the mother who loved him so. As he grew into manhood, his mother did tell him that he was royalty, and that he was to go and claim his birthright, and to move that boulder, to take out those golden gobs, get those sandals. I keep wanting to say slippers, but the slippers are another story that we'll tell. But he got the sandals beneath the huge rock, in the presence of his mother, and told her. So he headed to the kingdom, because he rolled away the rock and retrieved the evidence of his royal lineage. And, oh, I forgot there was a sword. That's right. I forgot the sword. How can one forget a sword? Because I'm a wizard. I wield a wand, not a sword. But, see, this young man, he was a hero. And he had grown up listening to fabled stories and legends. So along the way, he achieved great fame, just heading towards that kingdom. He had to fight a monster that was attacking a village, and the praise that he received along the way. He was told by his grandfather that the roads were infested with robbers, and to take a short route through the sea on a small boat. But the young man, being heroic of nature and just kind of looking for a fight, would have none of it. And he decided to make confronting and overcoming perils his lifetime hobby. So he took the dangerous land route. He did. And, of course, he encountered a series of tremendous challenges along the way. See, his first challenge, there was, as I said, there were gods at this time on the Ia. Gods are strong when they have faith. Yes. So, these gods were very petty and interfered with the daily lives of the mortals. And he had met the sun god along the way. Yes, the sun god. He rose every morning and went down every night. I don't know if went down is the right words, but you fill in the blanks there, you know? So, what the thing was, the god was the sun god, and he encountered this young man who was of a noble birth. And the sun god decided to mess with him. Just to give him some crap. Because he was bored. You know, being a god, it's kind of a boring job. You just go through the sky each day and go back down again. But he had sent him off. There was a minotaur. I don't know if you know what a minotaur is, but I will explain. A minotaur is a great beast with horns, like a bull. And in this case, not a fire-breathing bull. We'll have those in a few minutes. There are some fire-breathing bulls, but this minotaur, the body of a man, like a rock of a man, just big and huge, with the head of a bull. And there was a great battle. See, the bull was very vicious, the Minotaur was. He would smash the skulls of passerbys. But our hero was not to be a helpless victim. No, no. In this savage encounter, he paid him back in his own coin by dashing out his brains with an iron club that the
I've got news
Minotaur
for
had.
you. You are mine now. You belong
Welcome
to
to
me.
the Lithosphere. We are telling a great tale today that I remember from the past on the Earth, where I believe you are all from. I am from there as well, but I've traveled to Norcalia, a dimension, another land. It's very nice here. But let's continue on with this story. See, the next danger, there was a bandit. Yes, that bandit was guarding the passage into the city. There were two great rocks, and you had to pass through this narrow chamber to get through. There was only one way. You couldn't go over, you couldn't go around. You just had a passage through, and there were bandits. And this bandit had a more interesting method of treating travelers than the previous villain, you see. Because they would tie a helpless victim up between two trees, which they would bend to the ground, and then abruptly release, like a catapult. Oh, you are from Norcalia. Ah. You must be out that door. Oh wait, that's the privy. Sorry, wrong door. It's over there. I've been brewing up this potion for a while now. Fumes are getting to me. Been in here for quite some time. So, oh, the catapult. Oh, it was brutal. They would tie them up to trees and then launch them into the air, dashing them to their deaths. The victims would fly through the air and then into the ground. It was just gruesome. Gruesome. This improvised catapult didn't take much time for our hero to finish off them. You see, he thought this was a good time to be sneaky. And he did. He waited for nightfall. Then he climbed his way through the cracks, the crevices. See, instead of confronting the danger head on, he decided to bypass it completely and just not get noticed. Because sometimes being noticed can be a danger of itself. Well, he made it through that narrow passageway, continued on during the narrow trail leading to the edge of a cliff. Oh. And now, on the border of his father's kingdom, he found another evil bandit. Oh. Except this one appeared to be friends with everyone, see. And he would compel them to wash his feet. Feet washing was a very interesting thing. It's gone out of fashion. It's a very, very ancient thing. The earth used to be. You'd wash someone's feet to show a sign of respect. Now, this villain, this bandit, he would compel travelers to wash his feet with their backs to the sea on the cliff. And then he would kick them into the waters below, where a sea monster would eat them. But our hero was faster than this villain and moved out of the way real quick and grabbed his foot and flung him off the cliff. The sea monster below didn't care, ate him anyway. I bet that sea monster comes back to pester that village. Who knows? But now, a little farther away, he encountered a river bank. And this is his final adventure on the way to the kingdom. The last bandit to play dice with his life against our hero was a giant. And his nickname was the Stretcher. Ooh, guess what he did? That's right! He stretched people. See, this annual scoundrel, he had an imaginative way of showing his hospitality for travelers, for whom he always kept ready 2 iron beds. Yes, one too long and the other conveniently too short. He would offer the too short bed to the tall ones, and to help them fit comfortably into the bed, he would lop off their limbs. He was very brutal. And the same happened to the unlucky short men in the long bed. He would stretch their limbs in order to make them the perfect fit. These mythology stories are very gruesome, yes? Yeah. But they are true. It's brutal humanity. See, the victims would die in terrible agony, their arms and limbs just ripped off. Well, our hero saw the beds, bloody as they were, and deduced what was about to happen. Being that he was a hero and just, stronger than strong, he gave the giant a bit of his own medicine and pushed him into the short bed, just like his unfortunate victims. It's true. You see, now our hero arrived at his destinations without encountering any further challenges. Yes, he decided to delay the meeting with his father until he had a hold on the surroundings. He wanted to get his bearings, being a smart and tough hero. He did some research about the city and its king and gathered some disturbing news. Including the intelligence.
You son of a bitch!
That one end Dennis just subscribed. That makes you a lizardite. I think that's a frog. But it's okay, you're a lizardite. Welcome! You see, the hero had done his research about the city and the king and gathered some disturbing news. The intelligence was that the king was in the helpless clutches of an evil sorceress. I'm gonna drink some water. So our hero came face to face with his father for the first time. He kept his garb and sword and the sandals, the tokens of his paternity, hidden away. But the sorceress, however, she knew the truth of the strange young man, newcomer, through her occult powers. And that didn't sit well with the sorceress, who wanted her own son to succeed to the kingdom of... She conspired to poison the aged king's mind against the stranger, and suggested, in all innocence, to send the youth to capture the monster that was menacing farmers of the countryside, just to get rid of him easily without resorting to her usual methods: murder. She was an evil sorceress, after all. Well, this monster was just no monster, you see. It would need more water. Our hero was rather bored and accepted this challenge willingly. On his way, to seek refuge during a storm, raged. Probably from one of those petty gods that I spoke about earlier. Always interfering with mortals, Always interfering with the mortals. Petty they were. Well, you see, on the way, when he was seeking refuge, he found a humble shack. There was an aged woman in there. She promised the brave hero that she would make a sacrifice to the gods if he succeeded in his mission in defeating this monster that was attacking the farmers. Well, believe it or not, defeating this monster was no big deal for our intrepid hero. And he returned to her hut, the carcass of the monster behind him, only to find that the old woman had passed. Very sad. He then remembered her kindness decided that he was going to name the region after her. Attica. Mm-hmm. When the victorious hero returned to the kingdom, to the castle, with the dead body of the monster, the king, goaded on by the sorceress, became still more suspicious of him. So he had to assent to the plan of the sorceress to poison his son during the feast to celebrate his victory. Mm-hmm. However, as our hero was about to drink the poisoned wine, the eyes of the king fell upon the sword, the sandals, and the golden tunic that the young stranger had stowed away. Recognizing him to be his son, the king knocked the cup of poison away, embracing the youth with great joy and jubilation. I think those are the same thing. Oh well. He named his successor and heir before all his subjects, and banished the evil sorceress from his lands, never to be seen in this kingdom again. Yes. But the adventures did not end yet. Soon the young man learned that there was a great tragedy afoot. That means coming soon. Mm-hmm. See, I didn't finish telling you how he defeated the Minotaur. But the kingdom had actually been defeated in a war. Mm-hmm. And that was the cause of the Minotaur being in the path there. And what they would do, they would send 7 sons and 7 daughters of the noblest families every 9 to 10 years. And they were devoured by the Minotaur. That was the tribute they must pay. For this fearful half-man, half-beast lived in a labyrinth. Mm-hmm. You don't know what a labyrinth is? It's an impressive construction with cross paths, and no one can escape, and there's walls that are 20 feet tall, and it was made with magic and with the help of a god. You know, they're always petty. Always involved in the lives of the mortals. It must be boring being immortal. I haven't been immortal long enough to know. Okay. So, our young hero, despite his father's objections, was determined to embark upon the perilous mission as one of 9 boys on this occasion of tribute. Before he set sail, he promised his father that should he return victorious from this task, the ship carrying him and the others would hoist white sails instead of the normal black sails that were used in the kingdom. So our heroes set sail with the fellow boys and maidens, only after taking some wise precautions. He had consulted an oracle who told him to pray to the goddess of love. After making the necessary sacrifices, because I don't know why gods love sacrifices, they just love the misery of the mortals. That's why sometimes life is so hard, I think. But he embarked upon his fateful journey to confront the dreadful Minotaur. Oh, yes. Now, our hero and his fellow sacrificial lambs were given an audience at the palace, where the daughter of the king fell madly in love with our hero, instigated, of course, by the goddess of love. Somehow she managed to meet the noble youth alone, where they swore eternal love and fidelity to each other. Fidelity means that they'll be together and only together and with nobody else. Not like a high fidelity Comes in the stereo set. Anyway, that's another story about electricity, and we'll talk about that later. So, she also provided him with a very sharp sword, which doesn't make any sense because he already had a sword. But she gave him another one and a spool of thread, you see, and she said this would be to find his way back through the complex maze. Thus armed, our hero and company entered into the inscrutable labyrinth. Following the advice of his new love, our hero fastened the end of the thread at the entrance to the labyrinth and continued to carefully unwind the skein, because that's what a spool is called, as he was looking for the great beast. After a while, our brave hero finally encountered the Minotaur in his lair. There ensued a long and fierce battle, which came to an end when the hero killed the monster with the sword he was given by his new love. Following the returning line of thread, the hero and the companions safely were able to come out of the labyrinth, where an anxious lover waited for him. The two quickly embarked upon the ship, returning to the home kingdom of our hero, because they were fearful the king would learn that the Minotaur was killed and his own daughter had helped, and there'd be chaos and probably another war. So best to just avoid war when possible. That's a good rule. Avoid war. Also raw chicken. Okay. So, the happiness, unfortunately, of the young lovers was to be short-lived. The ship had touched an island, and our hero had a dream in which a wine god told him that his love had been reserved by the fates to be his bride, and also warned him of innumerable misfortunes if he didn't give up the maiden. He had no fear of any monster or villain, though, our hero. He did have great respect for the gods and wanted to have their favor, so he made a tearful farewell. Everyone on the ship, unfortunately, was very distraught at the parting of the young maiden, and forgot to change the ship's sails back to white. So after they left the safety of the island, and our hero abandoned the lovely maiden, the heartbroken maiden cursed him and companions, and they all forgot to change the ship's sails from black to white. However, the young maiden was actually to become the bride of the god of wine, and it was a ruse upon his part. In the meanwhile, the king was waiting anxiously for his son to come back. Every evening he was going out to the cape, looking for the lighthouse, which was just something they had with a candle, and it's, nothing like today. Anyway, the southernmost area to see the ship coming. However, months had passed, and his son had not returned. One day, as he was standing on a cliff, he finally saw the ship, but the sails were black. He immediately thought that his son was dead, and in total despair, he dove into the sea and drowned. From then on, as the eligible heir, our hero became the king in the place of his father. He won the approval and admiration of his citizens, who saw him in a wise and far-sighted ruler, as well as a brave and fearless warrior. He eventually peacefully unified the different communities to one powerful, centrally administered state. Yes. Unfortunately, he had done a lot. But then, he did need an heir for himself. Yes? What? That cat. It's always bothering me, folks. There's meow. I think she wants something. Where were we? So our hero is now the king of the kingdom. And being a wise and noble king, he had actually grown his kingdom without conquest, but with agriculture and commerce. Mm-hmm. He also established games to commemorate the tasks he had performed along his journey. And he inaugurated many new festivals. That's why we get the Nisi Day. But that's another story. So there he was, the protector of the kingdom. But should we continue on and tell the story of how he found himself a wife? Should I brush my beard? My goodness, look at that. Huh, yeah, it's quite grown. Oh, these mirrors are wretched. Well, our next adventure for the restless hero is gonna get him into a lot of trouble. It's gonna imperil the safety of his kingdom. So he went on a voyage of exploration, and his ship set ashore on a land of legendary female warriors, the Amazons. I understand they deliver packages now. Yes, my beard is magical. Wizards have power. Dr. Foxmeat said I should put mayonnaise in it to help, but I don't think that's right. I think we're supposed to use Miracle Whip. Dr. Foxmeat is a fellow wizard, if you don't know. Okay, so he went there, the Amazons, who now deliver packages. You see, the queen of the Amazons sent her beautiful sister as an emissary to find out whether the intentions of the strangers was peaceful or not. Never know. Well, our hero took one look at the beautiful emissary and forgot all about his diplomatic affairs. He forgot about diplomacy and started thinking about another D. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, he immediately set sail with the dumbfounded... What? Oh, with the dumbfounded Amazon. The warrior lady must have been impressed with the intrepid king, as she apparently didn't object to her own abduction. When they reached the kingdom, he made her his queen, and they had a son. Now the Amazons, they were outraged. No one took one of their women. No one. They did not waste any time and launched their attack against the kingdom. Their attack was so strong, they managed to penetrate deep into the territory. And our hero, the king, soon organized his forces and unleashed a vicious counterattack that forced the Amazonian warriors to pursue peace. The unfortunate queen, however, had courageously fought alongside the king against her own people and died in the battle, and was deeply mourned by her husband, who truly loved her. Next, in the life of this king, he had a celebrated friendship with a prince, a legendary people from over yonder past the land. Oh, where's my hat? Oh, witches wear hats, you know. Let me show you. There you go. See, that's a hat. That's a hat. But it's really a witch's hat, I believe, because I got it from a witch. And she was like, you need a hat. You need a hat. You should wear a hat. And I'm like, I like my hood. I'm good in the hood. Don't know if you know that. I feel like this, see here, I do recall this time where there was a witch hunt. They were hunting down the witches, killing them. How did I get this hat, you say? Well, that's a long story, isn't it? What's going on with my eye? Do I make potions? They're behind me. Look at them brewing. Now you see, that one I think is for Agatha. She wants one down there at the Dawnwood Brothel. Mention me. I get to get 5% of the income, so please do mention me. See, that brew there is supposed to help with the hump. Not sure if that's the one on her back or her career, but we're not going to go into that. I did read about it in my library. Let's head over to the library real quick. No, there's the library. See all my dusty, musty books. And I read in one of these books that that potion was going to help with the hump. I'm not sure if it was the hump back or the back hump, whichever way that goes. You know? Yeah, try to stay away from the crossroads. It's a bad place to go. In Norcalia. If you're in Norcalia, that is. If you're somewhere on the earth, yes, you can probably go safely to the crossroads. Obey traffic laws. I understand they can be treacherous. Oh, actually, let's go over into this part of the library over here. You see, I've been trying to work on this thing down here. There's a great portal that I've been trying to open to get back to the earth. Unfortunately, it closes within just a few seconds, and I always expect something to come through the portal, but it never does. Quite the shame, actually. So, these books I did collect. They are newer than the dusty tomes that I have in the other room. The other room is full of magical tomes that do tell me a lot. These are more current events. Yes, current events. There's one about Harry Potter up here. It's a very interesting book. He was some kid. He went to my alma mater. See, long ago on the earth, they sent me this mug. Yes, they did. Alma mater. When I attended the school, it was called Pig Blisters. For I am 45,000 years old, you know. And, this hat is just, it's for witches, I tell you. I'm gonna put my hood back on. It's a little tight. That witch gave it to me. I think there's a curse upon it. It shrinks as I wear it. So, I try not to wear the hat. I like the robes. Because when I wear these dark robes, people leave me alone. They think I'm a dark wizard. Shh, don't tell them. I'm really just a healer. I like to heal people, not kill people. It's very important, a good distinction to make. Heal, not kill. Yeah, it's very important. So let's head back into the workshop. Actually, let's go into the woods and look for some mushrooms. There's a mushroom. We need these magical mushrooms in order for us to obtain the secrets of the other dimensions. Oh, yes. Why, there are so many things to be seen. Let's get out of this woods. We are in the woods, but I brought with me my magic orb. It's a very important orb. It does let me see other things. Recently, when I was with the King of Norcalia, I did discern in here some stories of Jedi Knights. Yes, knights that fight with lights. It was very strange. And the king asked me to look in here and see. And it looked like it was a long, long ago in a land far, far away. Yes, one time I did take a portal to a land called Dayglow Blah. I think that's ultraviolet gray or something like that. Blah. I'm not sure, but there was a little guy, a goblin, but he was a wizard, I think. He would talk like, very good. It was very strange. He would eat all my food. Little jerk he was. Mm. So I poked him with a stick. Like, stop it! Stop it now! And poke him, little guy. Anyway, that's another story, isn't it? Sorry about that. I strayed in my story telling. So where were we? We were talking about our hero. That's right, our hero. Wait, it's cold out here in the woods. I don't know. I think we should travel back into the side, into the workshop. There we are. It's quite cold out there. I don't want to be out there for long. So, we were talking about the king. After the death of his Amazonian wife, and he deeply mourned her. Well, he had made a friend. The legendary people from another land. But his friend had heard lots of stories about the brave deeds and awesome adventures of our hero. And he wanted to test the renowned hero. So he made an incursion into the kingdom with a band of followers and decamped. Decamp means he took off. With the herd of cattle. When our hero, along with his armed men, encountered his friend, both of them were suddenly struck by an inexplicable admiration for one another. They swore eternal friendship and became inseparable friends for the rest of their lives. The new friends were said to have taken part together in the famed hunt for a boar, as well as the battle against the centaurs. Centaurs are creatures who are part human and part horse. Yes, the latter event occurred when one among the centaurs invited to the wedding feast, got drunk and tried to defile the bride. Yes. Nothing worse than defiling the bride by a centaur. I don't know if you can picture that, but please don't. So, the celebration was ruined by the centaurs, and the lesson there is, do not invite centaurs to your wedding. Yeah, that's it. That's the lesson in that part, isn't it? Anyhow, after the death of his Amazonian wife, our hero had married the sister of a woman he once betrayed. I think I told you that part earlier. Whew. I hope I did. This is quite the story, you know. So anyway, his wife was a young woman that was going to also have a tragic fate. But she gave her husband 2 sons. And the king's older son had grown into a handsome youth. When he turned 20, he became a devotee to the goddess of hunting. And not to the goddess of love as his father had done. Now, that bitch was crazy. And she was incensed. Decided to take her revenge. Well, this caused his new wife to fall madly and deeply in love with the handsome stepson. Yes, it's gonna get weird. Well, the stepson scornfully rejected the advances of his mother-in-law, and she committed suicide in despair. However, out of deception, she had written a suicide note saying that he had defiled and dishonored her, which is why she had killed herself. This enraged our hero, who prayed to the god of the sea, Pissin. I think that's wrong. I don't know. I'll look it up in a book in the library later. It's in there, I'm sure. We're lucky I remember this story all the way through. Whew. Anyway, see, he had prayed to the sea god to punish his son. And in turn, the sea god sent a monster that frightened the horses drawing the chariot. The horses went mad, overturning the chariot and dragging the youth along, who'd been trapped upon the reins. The king learned the truth from the old servant of his wife. He rushed to save his son's life, only to find him dying. He expired in the arms of his now grief-stricken father. This tragedy was the beginning of the end for our hero. See, he was gradually losing his popularity among his subjects. His former heroic deeds and services were now forgotten, and a rebellion began to ferment all around against his rule. He abdicated his throne to his oldest child and left to take refuge with his friend, who I mentioned earlier, the dear friend. Well, it soon came to pass that his dear friend passed from this world. Well, that world, because I'm on a different world now. The world you might be on, you know? Yes. So, the new king, being a young man, thought for sure eventually this king would want to rule. Then, in the guise of friendship, he took our hero to the top of a cliff and murdered him. Pushed him off into the sea. It was a tragic end of a life for one of the greatest heroes of the age. Yes. I don't know if there's a moral to this story, but that is the story of our hero and his life. Now, his son let the kingdom kind of fall into disarray. It fell apart, as kingdoms tend to do. One man can't rule all the power. Kingdoms sometimes are dependent on the power of the king. Very strange thing. Yes. Now, I did mention the Amazons. You see, they were the most powerful women ever. And in the ancient times, they were a tribe of independent, mighty women. There's still a lot of those, you know. Independent, mighty women. But these ones had rebelled against the male-dominated society. Yes. I guess you would say, yep. They lived in isolated places and excluded men from the society and made wars against them. See, I forgot to really explain who the Amazons were, so it's important that I tell you. Little is known about the Amazons outside of some of these books and tomes. There is many myths that I've heard, but they lived in a city off of a river. They were a race of mighty warrior women. The society was governed strictly and exclusively by women, providing a fascinating contrast, it was, to the male-dominated society of the ancient times. Men weren't allowed to become members in their society unless it was for the specific purpose of mating or slavery. Slavery was very common. Perhaps, yeah. They lived like soldiers, and their life purpose was to make war against men. At least that's the way I read it. They didn't let me on the island. I didn't get to meet them. This is all second hand, as you can imagine. But in childhood, these girls would learn the nuances of war. It was quite an amazing thing, the Amazons. I don't understand how they now deliver packages and things. Like, they'll be here within a day. They're really fast. They are so quick in flight of foot. There is another story to tell, I suppose. Boy, I do like my water. very useful on a day like today when you're talking a lot. Do stay away from the crossroads, my friends. So, I hope everyone is having a great day today. It is Wizarding Wednesday. It is such a wonderful day. I think I'm going to have to trim this beard today. Oh, it's getting rather unruly. Look at the mustache just needs some waxing. I'm going to have to wax that, my friends. If you haven't waxed your mustache, ladies and gentlemen, I recommend it. It's very useful. Keeps it all in shape. Get that shaping going. It's like I did use a new potion in that bottle back there. It's the second one from the left. That one right there. Yes, it's a conditioner. It says, and put that in there, and poof, my beard poofed out. It was quite crazy to see so much in there. So let's see, what other stories could I tell today? Anybody know? There's a silly gnome in here. What the heck? It's an easy day here. I told the story today. Oh my. What the heck? What in the world? What am I gonna do now? You see, I told my story. And now, what shall I do? Well, let's get back going. Let's keep talking. Let's do some other things. Is he actually streaming? Oh. Well. Oh, where is my pipe? I'll tell you about the Sorcerer's Stone in just a moment, see? I tried to light it with my wand, but the fire spell is not working lately. It's full of... needs a good cleaning. Ugh. Ah. Oh, that is potent. It is full of long bottom leaf. I don't know if you know what that is. It's a lovely, lovely leaf that the that the elves grow. So this little thing here, is a sorcerer's stone. Yes, it's translucent. But do you know what a sorcerer's stone is and how you make one? Well, so the reason I'm down here and in this laboratory of mine, I'm a master, and this is the master's laboratory. My apprentice Micah, he's flaky, and he calls this the masturbatory. I hate that little bugger. But the sorcerer's stone, you could serve. The sorcerer, like myself, must consume all of the ingredients. Let them coalesce in the appendix. Many people don't know what the appendix is for. It's for making a sorcerer's stone. Yes. So the items, they coalesce in there. You use lithoscopy to get rid of it. That's a term I made. So you remove a stone from the body. It's painful as the dickens. Well, it comes out the dickens. And once you pass that stone, you can squeeze it for an elixir. It only produces a small amount of elixir. And a thimbleful. But see, that pipe stinks. Somebody should clean it. It's like a black tar resiny material coming out of it or something. Like, used to be used by my father many years ago, and I've been puffing on it for 45,000 years now. Probably time to clean. So, you see, my friends, I was tasked with coming up with the elixir of life for my king. Unfortunately, I wasn't there to save his life, and he did die. However, his son is now ruling, and that king is much nicer than the old king, I must say. So, kind of a win-win for me. I get to be immortal. Not necessarily invincible, but immortal. Being immortal is a nice thing. I noticed though my beard is getting a little grayer, and I'm wondering if the elixir wears off. Maybe I need to refresh it from time to time. It was painful to make, and despite my wanderings into the sacred forest, I have yet to find any more ingredients necessary. I might have to make a great quest in order to find more herbs and ingredients necessary. I will probably need the help of Senjin, who is the head of the Obsidian Tower, and Dr. Foxmeat if I could convince him to go on the trip. I would really like to have the help of the Brown Wizard. He does have the brown arts. He can give you pink eye. You gotta watch out for the pink eye. He'll give you a John Wick brutal fart blasting. It's very, very, very defensive. But he does that to all of his followers. It's whew, gives you pink eye. I had to brew up a little bottle of stuff up there, put a cream in there, keep the eyes clean. That's all I can say about that, my friends. Well, I can't believe I told that entire story of our hero. I never even told you his name. Honestly, I can't remember his name. It's the problem of being so damn old. All these stories I read, they do blend together. See, like if we go back to the library, let's see if we can find a book in the library to be reading. Wait, that's the new part of the library. I want to go to the old library. Well, oh, I never even showed off the castle yet. But let's go to the new old part of the library. This is where the older, dusty, musty books are. Ugh, the tomes. I think those are law books. Those ones right there. Those are law books about the kingdom. Look, there's only 5 of them. Yeah, those are the law books. There aren't many laws compared to the rest of the stuff. Now let's see here. Oh God! I do need to get myself into a portal. I do need to get these polished lenses redone. I don't know. They're quite different here on Norcalia. It's hard to find a good glassmaker. You know a good glassmaker in Norcalia? Let me know. Yes? Well, let's see. We have time for another story, I suppose. What the hell? What? Shall we talk more about history of Earth? The Earth. You see, when I attended Pig Blisters, most of the gods had actually died. It's an interesting thing about the gods that were on the Earth. They only survive as long as they have believers. They live on belief and faith. Without faith, they have nothing. Yes, an interesting story. But not really what I'm telling today, just kind of telling you why they're not there. Why your life isn't bothered by them today, I'm sure. It's been a long, long time. Oh, the harpies! I can tell you about harpies. You know what harpies are? Suddenly, I was channeling my old professor from Pig Blisters. He used to talk funny. He'd be like this. I don't know why. He'd always talk like this. He'd say, "Young man, don't carry your wand like that. It's going to poke your eye out." Anyway, back to the story. Yes, there are lots of stories that I can think of, but I have to be had I supposed to tell you the whole story? And I am running low on H2O. Now, H2O, of course, water, is a very important ingredient in potions. And if I run out, how am I going to brew new potions? I'm not sure what I would do without the H2O or water. I'm not sure why they call it H2O. Never figured that out, but I remember a story. Oh, a story. Uh-oh. What the heck was that? There we go. We should have done Stream Raiders. We had enough people probably to win a battle. See, as a wizard, sometimes I need warriors to help me. And to win a great battle would be quite the thing. Of course, as a wizard, I can only tell tales for so long. I do need to brew up some potions, you know. We're gonna have to go out and get some more water. It's very important, this water. Very important. Let's see what is going on. I was thinking to play some games today. But maybe not with you watching. Maybe later. Maybe. Who knows? Dun dun dun. Oh. Oh. One moment, please. Yes. Wizard water. That's right. Well, you see, wizard water is blessed by being drunk by a wizard. Being drunk is a terrible thing, according to a glass of water. They pass right through, it's true. I'm thinking we should go and in shortly and see if we could join up with Nisi and play a game. I played a game called Among Us yesterday for the first time. It was strange. It was on electricity. I love electricity and items that work. But the wizard water is what we call it when you drink all the water and you have to whiz. See, wizard water. Wizard water. That's right. Wizard water. Did you hear that? It was a dickfur. I heard it. Chirping. Down here in the basement? I couldn't believe it. I heard it chirp, though. I am sure of it. That is good. What the hell is going on here? We're gonna have to put some beard wax in, my friend. Maybe I'll have to do a grooming stream, see? My beard is getting unruly. And out. Oh, look, I'm a pirate today. Look at that. Arr! Arr, I'm a pirate. Oh, wait. Let's get that under control. Jeez. My goodness. Let's brush it with the beard. Oh, no. Oh. Let's do something. Shall we? What do we want to do? Well, let's see what Brancifer is up to. Let's see what the demon is doing, my friends. Let's see what the demon is doing. There is a demon. I should invite him. Oh, looks like he took a shot. And it was a shot too much. Oh, I wish you could see his face. Apparently, that was not okay. That was hilarious. Brancifer is a demon who's playing Dead by Daylight. His death is not an escape. Let's see how the RPG players are doing. Thinking of joining and playing Among Us again, though. That was quite fun. Look at the role players. I think that's my grandmother. Oh, no, it is not. Right now, I'm just looking around to see what other people are up to. I told my story. That was pretty much my tale for the day. The hero. Wait a minute, Late Night Games is on. Is he? Join. Oh, he is on, playing Blasphemous. Ooh, we're gonna raid him. That's gonna be fun. Yes, we are. We're gonna raid Late Night Games. You see, this man not only plays games, he makes music. And he is slowly working his way towards affiliate. It is a long and lonely road that normally I try to incorporate some ideas of how you can improve your life and things. But today, I just told some history. And apparently, in the old days, things were terrible. You see, life has gotten much, much better than it used to be. Now you get things like this where you don't even drop frame rates. Look at that. My just chatting didn't even drop a single frame. That's amazing. Let's see how that's going. The heresy continues. How goes the heresy? Whoa. Whoa, I'm jostling the whole thing around. We are checking something. Ah. I'm finishing up here, thinking of sending us over and raiding the late night stream. Let's do that. I'm gonna go ahead and say that my story is told. Seems like about an hour and a half. About as long as I go. Interesting. Only gonna talk for an hour and a half. That's about as long as my stories go. Perhaps as there's more people in the chat to interact with, and I can talk to the folks in the chat, it will go a little bit longer. Now, this weekend I do plan to be back for Sorcerer Saturday, perhaps. Not really in the schedule, but we will think of something to do. I'm gonna send us over to watch somebody doing some blasphemous stuff we're gonna be doing. It's the heresy, I say, the heresy. Let's see here. Let's see what's going on before I do make that confirmation. I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna raid. I love sending a little raid to someone, especially someone who is struggling a little bit. So, we are going to have a wonderful time raiding this person. If you want to head on over there with me, just join in. You can definitely watch him play Blasphemous for a moment. It is a fun little game. Myself, I'm probably going to try to jump in and do some other things. Yes. But I do thank you all for joining me here today for Wizarding Wednesday. As I told the tale, I will be putting together more tales and more lore. Some things of my current events. I hope to have some other wizards joining me soon. And we will be going on an adventure. That is my hope, because we do need to get some ingredients in order to gather stuff to make another Sorcerer's Stone, you see. I'm so glad you are here. Don't walk runs a lot. Dark Mango, Kai, from Evercast. Do you like Evercast? See, if you've never been to the Kingdom of Norcalia, it's definitely something to check out. You're gonna go ahead and shout out the Kingdom of Norcalia if it would let me type. Good golly. That's not working. What the heck, my friends? Let's see if this works. I'm just lean in here. Type out SO. Really? I thought I had that set up. Let's find out. Yep, okay. Let's see if this works. If it doesn't, well, I'm not a very good wizard today. That did not work. But let's raid. We're gonna raid late night games. Who's going to enjoy the little raid? Thank you for coming in. We will be back soon with more tales of wizarding adventure, more magic, and we're gonna keep working on things. It'll improve slowly. Things will get better. If you're having a hard time, things will improve. Always here for you if you need it. Thank you for coming today. You have what I like to say, a Nisi day. You know, have a great day, everyone. Ooh, we're gonna raid with my viewers. And he's gonna have a wonderful time when he goes, oh, I was gonna watch you, wasn't I? Mm-hmm. Oh well. Good night. Thank you for coming in. And I will be back again soon. You'll probably see me before that, though. Bless you all. Raiders! Raid. But don't tell me he stopped.